Why did my dad use his credit card to pay off my student loans? A little bit of a doozy on today's episode. Dear Fi Guys, I hope this gets selected for the podcast. It did. I'm reaching out because I'm in a bit of a tough spot and could use some really good advice. Yeah. Here's the deal. My dad, bless his heart, covered my tuition with his credit cards without even telling me.
Oof.
I had no idea. Now, he's struggling big time. He's been paying more than the minimum each month, never missing a payment, great credit score, but for some reason the credit card companies won't cut him any slack. Every time he calls, they brush him off, suggesting things like debt consolidation, collections, which would wreck his credit score. And he's been a model customer at that. His income to debt ratio isn't even bad, but the interest charges are killing him. He even, this breaks my heart. He even had to go back to work after retiring just to keep up. I can only imagine how terrible that must feel. I can only pitch in so much because honestly, my degree hasn't landed me a high-paying job yet.
So does this sound like this listener has graduated already?
I don't know. I would think so, because aren't loans like deferred till the end of graduation?
Yeah, okay, that's a good point. Yep, probably.
Okay. I've tried getting a loan or a credit card to help him out, but my credit score isn't that good, so I can't get anything close to the amount he needs. So he's got about $50 or $60,000 spread out across various big name cards like Discover, Capital One, Bank of America. I'm desperate to find a solution. Is there any type of government program or loan scheme that could help him out? Maybe there's a way for me to take on his debt without ruining my own financial situation. At this point, I'll do whatever it takes to give my dad the retirement he deserves. Any advice or assistance you could offer would mean the world to me. Thank you. From trying to fix my dad's credit blues, I'm searching for some good news. Wow. How about that? That breaks my heart. That kills me. Oh my God. First off, what a great father,
Yeah, it sounds like the dad.
It's a very thoughtful gesture. Yeah.
Yeah, like our dad really loves our friend here that wrote in, but the father has no idea how money works.
No, I think I mean he made an act of love, which is commendable. Very, very, very commendable. It just wasn't executed properly.
Yeah.
It wasn't planned for properly, it looks like. And for him to come out of retirement, that breaks my heart. Just I can't even say enough. What do you got for us, Chris?
Yeah, this is a tough one, right? Because he did do it from a place of emotion, a place of love. And like we said before, sometimes those emotions aren't the right things that you need to do when you're talking about money. Sometimes you need to have a little bit of logic. And, it sounds like our listener is asking us a few questions. The first question is like, or they didn't ask this question, but they were saying like, her dad is writing in or is calling up the bank companies saying like, what can you guys do for me? Will you lower my interest rate? They're not going to lower your interest rate. Like, you've lost the game. This is how credit cards work. You went ahead and did it. And like, I'm sorry you're put in this spot, but this is what credit cards are designed to do. Your dad has zero leverage with the credit card companies for them to give him a lower rate. Like, I guess at this point he could maybe look at like a personal loan or like a HELOC or even a consolidation of credit cards into like a zero APR. The only issue with that would be a zero APR transfer typically is about 3%. So if it's $50,000 to $60,000, that could be pretty huge. And then he needs to make sure he's paying off that card within whatever that year or 6 months or whatever that time frame is, that it's a zero APR thing. Yeah, I mean, this kind of sucks that he did that. That's where he really should have talked to somebody, because I don't know what his interest rate is, but most credit cards are somewhere between 20 and 30%. So while she had those student loans, that sucked. Like, it probably would have sucked, but her student loans would have been somewhere between 4 and 7%. Yeah. Her dad, by doing what he did, multiplied it by like
3x.
A factor of 4,
yeah,
3 or 4. and then put it all on his back. But there are some good things with her if she still had it. Yes, the interest rate would have been lower, but she would not have been able to declare bankruptcy and get rid of those.
Correct.
But now that her dad paid them off with a credit card, he could declare bankruptcy and get rid of it.
Oh, that's such a weird. I don't want to say loophole, but like, what a loophole! I didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Now, I'm not saying that.
No.
I'm not saying that bankruptcy is the right thing to do. And if you are more concerned about like how does bankruptcy work and everything like that, go back to episode 32 of the Fi Guys. We talked all about that, which maybe we can link inside the video afterwards. So stick around to the end. I'll have that linked for you. But if your dad is retired, if he already owns his own home, bankruptcy honestly could be an option for him. It's not the option that I would probably throw out there, but that could be something. But your question is, are there any government schemes? You legitimately put that. Are there any government schemes that can help assist him with this or anything like that? I mean, it's really going to come down to, you can either do the debt snowball or the debt avalanche. And at this point, it's probably going to have to be the debt avalanche and just go for whatever one has the highest interest rates.
Yeah.
Does your dad, is he in a good financial situation at all? Or was he just living off of like Social Security? It would be my guess, because if not, he could have used like maybe retirement accounts or something like that to pay off the credit card debt. So my guess is he was on a fixed income, already retired and doing okay, and then decided that I'm going to use these credit cards in order to pay off my daughter's student loans, which in hindsight, even in foresight, is just a terrible decision to make.
Yeah. I mean, this is why we talk about this, guys. Having a financial advisor is so important. They can save you tens, thousands, hundreds of thousands. They can save you so much money. They can save you so much headache. I can only imagine the stress and the weight that is on this father's shoulders and the daughter's shoulders as well.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't even ask for it. He did it by himself. And now that burden's on her, as well. This is why it's so important to get in touch with someone like Chris, who has dedicated their life to money and understanding it and making sure that the money works for you and you don't work for the money, and stuff like that. So big shout out to Monzon Wealth. If you want to get in touch with someone like that, Chris is here as always. But yeah, I mean, a beautiful gesture turned into chaos.
Yeah.
Chaos. Terrible. Just terrible.
Yeah, and really, at the end of the day, I know that our audience members want us to give us the solution, want us to give us the loan scheme, the government program.
Wish there was.
The only government program that there is bankruptcy. And that's going to be a debacle in itself. Like I said, go to episode 32 to kind of hear about what that's going to entail, if that's the way they want to go. But in terms of like how they can get out of it, he can maybe do a home equity line of credit and get a lower interest rate in order to pay off that debt. He could do a personal loan, which should have a lower interest rate than the credit cards do. Or you can do a consolidation onto one credit card, but that's going to run with like a 3% thing. So based off what they said, if it's all just on credit cards, you can call the credit card company till you're blue in the face, asking them to give you a lower loan or a lower interest rate. They're not going to do that, because why would they kill their golden goose? Like, you're paying them money.
It's a sad truth, but they're in the business of making money, you know? So, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, they're not your friend.
No.
So, and we're not our credit cards friends, and we use credit cards strategically here at the Fi Guys all the time. But it's with the understanding that the credit card company is not my friend. Like, I'm never going to call the credit card company and be like, "Hey guys, I just got 100,000 points from you guys. Do I get a prize?" Like, no, they don't care. They're mad that happened. Like, they want me to screw up and to pay that high interest, which unfortunately your father did, and now they're going to be stuck with that. So his only options are pay it off. And you can pay off the debt, which is going to be high with a credit card because it's going to be harder because that interest rate's at 20, 30%. Or he can do a home equity line of credit or a personal loan. But remember, with those, if you do the home equity line of credit, you're putting up your home as collateral. So I really hope you can pay that off. Or if you do a personal loan, that can work. It'll probably be a lower interest rate, but I don't know how his credit score is. She said that it's still fine. So hopefully he'll be able to get it okay, because at least he's making minimum payments on the credit cards. But I would get that sooner rather than later before he misses a payment and his credit score declines.
Yeah, but also like I don't really know, and I mean no disrespect, but I don't know how much the daughter knows about his finances when she says like his credit is fine. It's like, really, because I wonder what his credit utilization is, because it sounds like, I mean, it sounds like he just filled it up. And, you know, that's that's one of the beginner rules. It's just like I mean, you only use 1% of your credit utilization, but people say use, 5%, 10%, 15, 20 maybe. But
yeah, she even said that her dad's debt to income ratio is really good, which if he has $60,000 in debt and he had to go back to work, it clearly can't be.
Can't be. And, we're not dissing the guy.
No, definitely not.
We just want to have.
He did a gesture of love.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's commendable. It's just, if you don't know what you're doing, it's perfectly okay to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
Perfectly okay. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't know how. Listen, if there's a gas leak in the house, right? I don't know how to fix a gas leak. I'm not gonna try and figure it out. I'm gonna call Southwest Gas. I'm gonna call the gas people. Tell them there's a leak. The house is about to explode. Duct tape isn't gonna fix this one, right?
Yeah.
I think for him in his situation, going to a financial advisor is the best option, because we can only give surface level, and they can really get into the nitty gritty of it all.
Yeah, either he's got to go to some sort of debt counselor, or he can you can pass this on to your father and tell him to reach out to Chris and Mons on Wealth. I'd be happy to talk to him.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not like a debt consolidation person. That's not really my thing, but I can at least get a larger perspective to see what's going on, because sometimes people in this situation, they might have money in an IRA or a 401k or something like that, that if he's retired, he can pull that money, but maybe he's like, oh no, that's for future me or something like that, which is like, well, you're screwing yourself right now. And I guess I can understand that, but we need to look at everything before we make a decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
So sending big hugs from Arizona. Good luck to you and your father. I'm really sorry, friend, that this is what's going on, but I know that your dad did what he did out of love for you. And sometimes the hardest thing, and for parents out there that are listening to this and saying like, oh, well, the dad did the right thing because you always take care of your kids. The best way for you to care for your kids is to take care of yourself.
Yeah. It's like they say on the plane, put the oxygen mask over yourself first, then help others. Right.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta,
because
you're no help to others if you can't help yourself.
Yeah. Let's think about how much time and like stress this is put on the daughter trying to figure out, how am I going to take care of my dad? And God forbid, like dad can't work anymore. And now he's falling more and more into credit card debt, more and more into what if he lost his house because he couldn't pay off the credit card debts and stuff like that. And now he needs to move in with a daughter. Like if you don't take care of yourself first, you really are just screwing your kids over.
Yeah. But yeah, best of luck from Arizona. Good luck. And that's all we have on that take.
This video podcast is sponsored by Mons on Wealth. The content in this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. We do not endorse specific products or services. Past performance does not guarantee future results. The opinions expressed are those of the hosts and guests, not the podcast sponsor.
It is crucial to consult with a qualified financial advisor or professional who can provide advice tailored to your specific needs before making any financial decisions, investments, or taking any other actions. If you are seeking specified help, you can reach out to Chris at monsonwealth.com.